We're on it. We're just gonna go for it. Doodly 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 doo. Um. Yo, what's going on, guys? Kevin here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of the towers in Bloons TD6 by my own personal opinion. When streaming or on videos, I very frequently get questions about what's your favorite tower, what's your least favorite, how do I feel about this tower, how do I feel about that tower, and in this video, I'm going to just knock out all those questions. Now, this is looking at the tower as a whole, so I'm taking into account all three paths rather than just one of them. Later in the future, I plan to do a tier 5s ranking. I've recorded it like twice now, and each time my opinions changed significantly, or there was a recording problem, as was recently, but we won't talk about that today. We're gonna hop right into the video. So, if you guys go on to enjoy, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Let me know your favorite towers in the comments down below. I'm definitely open to hear you guys' opinion. And let's just do this. Starting out with the dart monkey. I think the dart's enjoyable. Ooh, excuse me. I don't find myself using dart all the time. Okay, so I do use dart all the time because it's free, right? But I don't always upgrade it, so I think for a free tower, it's fantastic. But I do like getting the glue for my free tower as well. But I do enjoy the Ultra Jug and the Crossbow Master a lot. So I'm definitely going to, I could put you in I like it. Just because of those two paths, I do enjoy it a lot. Boomer, I think is one of the absolute best. I think okay, I'm going to drop it down a peg because it's, bottom path, I just never really find myself going for. I know it's pretty good, the Moab Dom or whatever, the man who dominates the Moabs. It's okay, but I don't really find myself ever wanting it. So, I think it only belongs and I like it. But it's top path, the Glaive Lord, and the middle path, Permacharge, fantastic towers. I get them very frequently. Enough to say absolute best. It's definitely one of the absolute bests. I'm going to say the bomb tower is quirky. I don't find myself using bomb tower anymore, or the bomb shooter, whatever the heck. I don't really find myself using this. I know recursive cluster is really good, and then middle path Moab Maulers are fantastic to spam, and they kind of synergize with itself. But, I mean, I like other things that can do that, and bomb tower is just not it. It being stopped by black balloons is kind of annoying once in a while. Not very frequently, but when it does, it just makes you mad. Overall, it's an okay tower by all means, but it's just not something I go for frequently anymore. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. It's probably one of the least used towers of mine now. If you watch my channel, my streams, videos, whatever, you know that I like the tack shooter. Tack zone, Inferno Ring, fantastic towers. The middle path I don't find myself getting basically ever, but I don't hate it by any means. I just don't really get it because I'd rather have zone. But I just love towers that have a lot of projectiles and really good attack speed. And tack shooter is basically the embodiment of that idea. I love it. It's a great tower. I use it very frequently. In basically every game I have one of these things out, at least once. It's just really cool. I love it. Ice Tower, Ice Monkey, Frozone, the Monkey Boy. I think it's enjoyable. I don't find myself loving it. Like, I love some things about it, and then I don't really care for the others. Like, I love Icicle Impale, but I don't really enjoy going for a 5th tier middle path, the Absolute Zero. Stone Sour be with me. And then the top path is fantastic for, like, boss events and whatever, but aside from that, I mean, it's like a weird scale. Like, I like something, I find with something, and then I don't really care for the other thing. It's just an enjoyable tower. It's useful in a lot of games, though, to be fair. Stunning ceramics is always a fantastic thing to have, but, I mean, you belong there. I think with a little more work, this tower is going to be really good soon. I think they're going to do a buff where it's just going to become a staple. I just have a feeling. Like, with the cryo cannon getting a buff where I don't know if it does more damage, but I know it can hit Moabs. It feels better, or it got cheaper at least recently, and I think that's a good stepping stone to making this tower good. The glue gunner I think is just quirky, definitely towards the top of quirky though, because I get the bottom path frequently, right? I go for the 0, 2, 3, and that's basically all I do for it. I never really worry about going 5th tier unless I'm doing bosses, and I go middle path to get get the increased damage. But regularly, I don't find myself using Glue Gunner that, like, frequently. Not going for, like, a 5th tier frequency. The top path getting the buff where it can actually kill things, like Moabs and whatever, is fantastic. And I think that's a good buff that it got. Middle path is very useful, and then bottom path, you know, I think it's enjoyable. Well, when I think of enjoyable, it's like, am I excited to get this tower, or am I getting it because I feel obligated to? And you're the support that I feel obligated to get. You're not fun. You're just like, I need you, you know? Not in a bad way, just like, you're useful. So, yeah, definitely quirky. This list has no real organization to it. Honestly, it's just me talking about the tower and what I feel about them, and then hoping that it fits where I've created the tiers. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt. I'm dumb. Sniper, I'm going to say is one of the absolute best. No, I think it's an I like it. I really like Sniper's mid path, bottom path, top path. All of it, really good. In that order, by the way. That's why I said it stupidly. Or, I don't know if I prefer the middle over the bottom. I can never remember the name. One's Elite Sniper and the other one's Defender, I think. God, I can't even... It's hard to argue, but either way, I like them both a lot. And then Top Path is still fantastic for stalling. I think overall, it's one of the best towers because all 3 tiers are good. But do I want to put it anywhere above I like it? I don't want too many towers in the absolute best. This needs to feel prestigious. Tack Shooter could be in its own tier. That's why it's going to be in the front at all times. It's going to stay and I like it. Overall, I think it's a really good tower, though. You can make money with it. It buffs itself with the mid path. Really good attack speed. Some projectiles alongside of it. And then stunning Moabs, helping you do more damage to them. It's a really good tower. I don't think you can ever go wrong dropping a sniper. Top path is a little pricey, but I think it's worth it. Because the other ones are just so darn cheap. Sub, I'm going to put in the absolute... no, wait. I can't really say that anymore. Because I don't use it as frequently as I once did. It's definitely towards the top of I like it. Sub is still one of my most used towers, if not my most used. And that's because when I first started playing this game back when it came out in 2018, I basically only used subs. Like, I would do the sub commander and drop all the subs that you could ever ask for. That was my defense for, like, the first year. So it was my most used tower. And then, like, I used it occasionally, and it still stayed there as I was using other towers. And it's probably still my number 1. Just because of that whole year that I was using basically sub only. Aside from that, I do like this tower. Top path being able to decamo is kind of nice. Reducing ability cooldowns is phenomenal. Getting more experience on your heroes is really cool. Not always something you're going to get, and honestly... you almost shouldn't because it's not really worth it. Because by the time you can buy it, you should probably put that money to other things because you're in like the mid 60s or 70s. So honestly, going for the 5th tier top path isn't exactly great. But I mean, like, if you're farming and your money is there and you're playing a casual game, then it's good. But middle path is really good Moab damage. You could basically never lose to the bad if you get it. It's not too expensive, I don't think, but it's also not, like, a super cheap tower. I think it's more expensive than Top Path Sniper, so I guess I'd say it's pretty expensive. But it's good Moab damage, and it's probably one of the better Moab damage towers. Water towers do get a little less love because they need to be in water, but I don't think that's exactly a bad thing. And I don't really knock it down any. I like it. I still love just spamming... Sub Commander and APD darts or whatever. Really fun. I'm gonna put the boat here, and I'm gonna drop the Dart Monkey. I've been thinking about it, and you need to go down. The boat is really cool. One of my other strats that I used to spam like crazy was Carrier Flagship and Sky Shredder, and I still use that combo very frequently today. I think it's a really good combination. It's just a lot of fun. Again, it's got a ton of projectiles if you go for the 3-2-0. I used to love just getting the battleship and the grape shots and then elk buffing that thing, and it just tears through. So I think this tower is really cool. The pirate getting better is awesome, and I'm really happy that it got better. It does a bit more damage, I think, now, when you make a little bit more money with it. And then the bottom path, obviously, it's farming. That's an obvious S tier type of thing. I like boat. Overall, boat's fantastic. Definitely not something I say I love, but I know it's great. I'm gonna say the plane's quirky. You know, I love Sky Shredder. You know, I'm gonna put you in enjoyable. I love Sky Shredder. I do not care for Star Bomba. I never get it. And then I enjoy Big Plane, but it's too expensive to get regularly. So when you look at it, you gotta look at Spectre. That's kind of how this thing goes. And Spectre is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure you could Spectre 2 Mega Pops, and it's something I should do one day now that I said it. But I don't use it very frequently because it misses very often. Unless you're going the Never Miss, which, I mean, I guess it is pretty good to get a Never Miss, but I think there's better towers in that case. If you're on a map with a lot of entrances, it's great to have, but I feel like Plane likes to whiff, and it just misses its shots way more than it has any right to, but I do like it. The Paragon is really cool. I haven't even thought about Paragons, but so far I think my Paragon rankings would still be the same. Dart, yeah, Boat would probably be higher because it's stupid OP, and then Boomer is probably around the absolute best as well. Either way, I do like the Plane Paragon, though, a lot. And pairing those two is really cool. Top of enjoyable. Oh, Heli. One of my most used towers at one point, and then drop. Just because I don't get it. Not because it's bad or anything. I just don't get it anymore. Towards the top of enjoyable, but not higher than that. I can't give it the benefit like that. Because I still really enjoy going top path heli, Apache Dart ship. And then I never go the middle unless I'm doing like Uber farming and I'm moving around a banana farmer to collect all the stuff. Or the blowback, but I never really use the blowback effect, honestly. I don't really care for those stalling strategies. I know they're good. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that. But I just don't really care to use them. Just out of preference. And then the bottom path has been, you know, everyone's got to mention it. The bottom path used to be stupid overpowered. Then they nerfed it, and now it's okay, but it's not as good as top path. Yeah, I think it's enjoyable. I don't really have too much to say about Heli that hasn't already been said. It's like really good, and then gimmicky, and then the bottom path is just you once were great kind of thing. Mortar belongs in quirky. I like Mortar overall, but I never get it, honestly. It's one of my least used towers. Probably I get it more than like the bomb tower, but not by much. Top path ruins the ceramics. Middle path does more damage to bosses when the effect is active, and I didn't know that until I read its description like a couple months ago. And then the bottom path, Bloon Incineration, is fantastic, and I love it. Helps me stay in shape. It's great. But I never really go for it anymore. It's kind of expensive. If you can get Bloonsin in a Chimps game on one of the some of the easier maps or on like Balance, I mean, you don't lose. From there, honestly, you just win. The DDTs and the fortified Moabs and whatever that show up in those later rounds, not a problem. A little pricey, but really good. But yeah, definitely just a quirky tower overall. Obviously, there's the strats with like Striker Jones. That's really fun. But I mean, I think if you're using Striker Jones strats, you're probably using Bomb Tower. Ooh, I need to do a strategy with someone where I use Striker Jones and Gwendolyn and the Bloon Incineration. Because all of those together buff, or Gwen's fiery buffs now boost Bloonsin, and then obviously Striker boosts Mortars. So I think those two together with a Bloon Incineration would be a lot of fun. I'll have to get a hold of somebody. That sounds like fun. But yeah, it's a quirky tower. It's good, but it's just not a tower I get frequently. I think Dartling is one of the absolute best. I think all of its tiers are fantastic in every way. Bloon Exclusion Zone is obviously the best of them all. Mad is a close runner-up with the Ray of Doom just after it as well. I think it's a really cool tower. Tons of projectiles. Really good in basically every game. It's the most used tower, excluding like farms and villages, in boss events. if you're not getting a Dartling Gunner, you're not doing bosses right, I feel like. You should always be getting a Mad for your bosses. It's just really good. Its damage is absurd. The price makes it worth it. Or the skills make the price worth it. That's what I wanted to say. I'm dumb. Really good tower. Something I get very regularly. Especially that exclusion zone. God, all those cannonballs. They make me excited. Wizard is an absolute best. But probably towards the bottom. Maybe top of I like it. You know, you can go to the top of I like it. That kind of hurts, but Archmage is my favorite of the wizard paths. Middle path Phoenix is kind of cool, but not exactly something I get frequently. And then the Prince of Darkness is really cool. Bottom of just above Dartling Gunner, an absolute best. Those POD and Archmage alone make this one of my favorite towers overall. Always worth getting, in my opinion. Damage is really good for its price. It can't, like, guarantee you the win, but in, like, the 60s to the 90s, getting an Archmage basically makes you not have to do anything. It's similar to when you get Glaive Lord, right? You get Glaive Lord around the 60s, and then you'll have to touch the game till, like, 85. It's that kind of tower, you know? You drop it, you win for a while, then you have money to get your victory towers. That's what Archmage is. Prince of Darkness is close to doing that, but sometimes the POD sucks and doesn't really have reanimated Bloons to defend, and then you just lose. And, you know, it's... Oh, it is really cool, though. It does summon undead Bloons. Yeah, I like it. Either overall. And then there's the Phoenix. The Phoenix is just whatever. I like spamming Dragon's Breath more than getting any tier 5 Phoenix, so I don't know if that says anything about me, but, you know, use that knowledge. Oh, the Super Monkey. It's not it. I don't hate the Super by any means. Oh, I think it's got to be at least quirky. I never get it. Even when I'm farming a lot, I just never get the super. I know it's stupid good, right? You go top path and you get to round 200 by doing basically nothing. You go middle. Well, I don't know what the middle does. I never get it. Then you go the bottom path and you have Batman, which does a lot of damage as well, and it's super good. So bottom path is my favorite. But aside from that, I really don't care to get the super. I'm going to leave it in just not it, fam. I don't think I really care for the super all that much. Not in a bad way. It's just, I use it so rarely. Even if I want to go to a super high round, I never think of getting the super anymore because Paragons. I don't think it's worse than all the Paragons. I'm pretty sure it's better than, like, the Engineer Paragon, but still. Yeah, I'm just going to put it in not it, fam. It's not like I hate it or anything. I just never get it enough to care. It's definitely close to being quirky, but I don't think it belongs quite in quirky. I do think the bomb tower belongs to be below it at least, though, but not lower than the mortar. Man, that hurts. I really like the bomb tower. This was one of my favorite towers in, like, the older games. Bloons 5, I loved getting this thing. Anyways, Ninja, one of the absolute bests. All of its paths are fantastic, and I'm warming up to each and every single one of them more and more the more I play the game. Top path obviously has all the projectiles in the world and the attack speed that I love that gets my dopamine levels at an all-time high. Middle path Shinobi is way better than I've ever given it credit for, or like the Sabo is better than I've ever given it credit for. The stalling this thing can do in the late rounds when you're, you know, 95 and 99, you know, the DDTs are trying to get to your house and, you know, do your wife. The Sabo will stall that and keep you from losing, and it's great. I've never really been a big fan of, like, support towers until recently, and this is one of the best, and I've come to love it. And then Master Bomber is stupid good if you get a whole bunch of Shinobis around it, and you just get that ultra uber powerful attack speed. God, is it satisfying as all hell. Really is one of the best towers just to get in the early 100s. You know, you can get to, like, 140 if you have your Grandmaster Shinobi set up. Then you go for the Ninja Paragon, and it basically carries you to, like, 250. Honestly, this thing is really good. Okay, maybe not 250. That might be an exaggeration. But you get it. It's really good. I've come to love this tower more and more as the days go on. So, therefore, it's taking third place. Ninja was already one of my favorites from Bloons 5. I used to get the Bloon Jitsu Master in the sticky bomb guy in Bloons 5 all the time. One of my most used towers on that game. And in Bloons 6, it was one of my most used towers early on because, you know, learning how Alchemist worked from transitioning from Bloons 5 to 6 because Alchemist is new. And then you realize, oh, if it has a lot of projectiles and attack speed, Alchemist makes it a god. So, Ninja got higher and higher on that list. You know, you need to go lower. I don't know why you're still that high. But yeah, I love the Ninja overall. It's fantastic. And I would have dropped it a little lower if not for me loving Sabo nowadays. That was a lot. Oh, the Druid. Man, I love the Druid. I'm going to put in I like it. I don't know what else there is to say about the Druid. I just really like the Druid. You know, there's the Top Path Superstorm. It's very pricey, but if you're farming and you can get it, it's a lot of fun. It's not exactly good because it doesn't exactly do much damage, but it's nice. Middle Path, I mean, it can get you a lot of money. And, I mean, those Thorns are pretty good nowadays. You can do the 2 Mega Pops with it, which is kind of fun. And then there's the bottom, which is just projectiles and attack speed. It's something I like. But because, like, the top path isn't phenomenal and the middle path is not phenomenal as well, but the bottom path is great, you know, I'm going to leave it on I like it. Because I do like getting the other paths very frequently, I'd say. But I think it just, I don't know. I like it. That's it. It's just simple. Man, this is going to be controversial. I'm putting you in quirky. All right? You know what? When I think about it, I have to be fair about this. Top path, fantastic tower. Top 2 tower. It's like either number 1 or number 2. I couldn't tell you. Elk buff is good. It's fantastic. You should always be getting an Alchemist in your games. There's almost no reason not to unless you're using like pounds per square inch or balloon trap, right? Like you're not going to want to elk buff those towers, but you should have an elk buff. But then there's the other paths. The middle path, I think I've gotten just to get the achievement. And then there's the bottom path, which is like I've gotten for the achievement as well. Actually, now that I think about it, wow, I never used those. They're just not that good in my opinion. I never really find myself wanting the Cookie Monster, and I never really want the BMA unless I'm going for those uber late rounds, of course, because instantly dropping ZMGs to being a red balloon is really fun. Not exactly great because eventually there's just too many ZMGs, and obviously you're not relying on the Alchemist to deal with those. You're using other towers for the ZMGs, but still, it's like because of Top Path Alchemist, it's a fantastic tower, like the Perma Brew or whatever. But the other ones are just bad, in my opinion, honestly. They're just not good. I never want them. I don't care for them. They don't exist, in my opinion. Alchemist is its own thing. Or its own thing. Yeah, shut up. It's just quirky. That's it. Shut up out there. Farms. They're enjoyable. I think it's safe to say this is the best tower statistically. Money-making methods are the best towers. If it makes you money, it automatically is the best of its path. That's just how that works, statistically speaking. Because without farms, you're not getting things like Superstorm or True Sun God, Ray of Doom, very comfortably, I should say. Not in your average game. In most games without a farm, you're not getting the really cool defenses. And that's what makes chimps so hard. If you had knowledge, but you weren't allowed to make money, chimps would still be difficult. It's just taking away money-making methods. That's what makes chimps so hard. And I think, farm obviously statistically is the best. But when I'm dropping farm, I'm not getting like stupid excited that I have a farm on the screen. I'm just like, yay, I can get defense for other things. It's not the farm that makes me excited. It's the other stuff that I'm going to get because I have a farm that gets me excited. It's an obligation kind of love, similar to the glue. Like, I like it by obligation. But, unlike the glue, I do find myself enjoying it every once in a while. And, you need this thing for, like, bosses. So, I mean, it shouldn't be any lower. It's definitely got to go a little higher than this. I don't think it goes higher than you two. Definitely belongs here, middle of the pack. Alright, if you're watching this, around the time that I'm recording this, it is the July 1st. We know that Permaspike currently is in the dumpster. It is having a rough time. So, looking at this from today's perspective, where Permaspike is something I don't drop at all, this tower ain't it. It ain't it. It's just not. It's unfortunate, but it really isn't it right now. Before Permaspike got nerfed to all hell, one of the bests. And because Supermines are super cool, it would have gone up and I like it. And then the middle path is fun. You know, whatever. It's there. It does its thing and it's great. Overall, I'm just going to put it in quirky, I think. It's good, I think, still. I don't know. Not being able to drop Permaspike and know that I'm just going to be okay for the rest of my life really hurts my insecurities, you know? I feel like with Permaspike not being as reliable, my anxiety level just goes up. It's so sad. I thought Permaspike would tell me everything's going to be okay, but it lied to me at this point. I won't recover. Overall, Perma needs something, I think. Just a little buff, but I understand why they nerfed it. Perma was dropped in every game. If you were playing Bloons, you dropped Perma about as much as you dropped farms, you know? It's just that good. And then there's the other paths which were just fine, right? Like, Supermines are too expensive to get in an average game, and then the middle path is great for killing Moabs and stuff, but honestly, aside from lagging people in an online game, nobody really got it. So, until Permaspike becomes the god that it once was, it's just going to be quirky, because I don't get it anymore. Village. It's got to go next to the farm. It's the same concept, really. I'm not excited because I'm getting a farm, unless you go for primary expertise, then yeah. But I'm excited for the buffs it's giving other towers around it. I don't really care about the building itself. It's what it does for the other towers. Which, I mean, I'm sorry. You're just a building, though. I don't have to love you, you know? Inanimate objects don't deserve love. Unless it's the tack shooter when it gets buffed. And the tack shooter. Or Spike Factory and tack shooter. Good God, I'm dumb. But yeah, it's the village. It's great. Gives camo, gives the ability to hit everything, increases attack speed, makes your primary tower super good, and then discounts. You know, it's a good tower. Engineer, man, quirky? I think it belongs in quirky. Below Alchemist. Top path, I've come to really enjoy. The sentries are really, really good. Getting Sentry Paragon is where it gets good. Using Sentry Expert isn't as fun because sometimes you get the wrong sentries coming out. But if you get the right ones, it's really good, honestly. And it can really carry you through some of the harder early game rounds. And then once you get Sentry Paragon, I mean, it's super good. It's not, like, broken good, but it's good. It's, like, surprisingly good. That's what it is. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's surprisingly good at what it does, and that's kill. Middle path, being able to buff every tower with the boost is kind of cool. Very nice to have in most games. And then bottom path, farming, S tier kind of quality to it. What more is there to say? It does fall off, though, unlike a lot of other farming methods. It doesn't really scale that good into the late rounds, even once you get the triple X trap. But, yeah, I think it's just a quirky tower. Everyone likes the foam. That's all I got to say about that. Not it. Don't care. Look, man, I want to like the new tower, but I haven't used it since those videos I made. And that was only for 2 of the paths. I haven't done it with the shark because they nerfed it before I could exploit it. I don't know. This tower, when I saw what it could do, I thought it was going to be a hero. And I still think how its abilities work, or like how it works as a whole, it should probably be a hero. And I officially nominate that the hero's name is Chris Pratt, you know, taming the dinosaurs and all that stuff. It only makes sense. But I don't really find myself getting this since the videos I made, you know, 3 months ago when this tower came out. It's not good in bosses. It's very expensive. It takes up all the space on the screen. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad tower. I just don't really care for it. I think what makes me dislike it more is that when it came out, I've been like not wanting to play Bloons as much right now. I've been trying to play other games, but at the same time, I really want to keep playing Bloons because I know you guys love it. and I still like the game. But when this tower came out, I'm like, yes, a new tower. Time to get some energized feeling to play this game again. Hell yeah. And then, like, I did those 2 videos, and it just like, oh, okay, so the game is still not great right now. It's still not super fun. All right, cool. Thanks. I blame the beast handler for that. I don't know. I have conflicted feelings about this tower. I want to like it, but I don't know. I don't use it enough to care. Is it good? Is it, like, super broken, or am I just being an ass and, you know, treating this thing worse than what it deserves? I don't know. And Caveman is a top-tier tower. Fantastic. I think everyone loves the Caveman. I don't know why the Caveman's on this list, but you know what? I love him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the tier list of the towers in Bloons. I think they're all fairly balanced for the most part. They'll have their worth, but some of them just kind of suck. That's it. That's the entire synopsis of Bloons in a nutshell. You're welcome. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the way this list turned out. I think some of it could change here and there, but overall, I think I'm pretty happy with how it is. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to have all... I'm dumb. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would highly appreciate that. Let me know what you guys think of my list. Do you hate it? Do you love it? Where do you think I'm dumb? How do you think I'm dumb? When should I, you know, jump into oncoming traffic? You know, all the fun stuff. I know this is an opinionated list, and you're not allowed to do that on the internet, but I did it anyway, so get over it. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, turn on notifications, join my Discord. Link to that is in the description below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.